Okay, I'm gonna give it a few minutes. I know it's young for the people on the West Coast. For the people on the East Coast, it probably isn't as young. See, some things I wanted to talk about the other day that I didn't get a chance to talk about. So we'll wait and see if anybody shows up. Shows I have one viewer. I wonder if that's me. Nobody's typing. We'll see. I'll just hang out and see what happens. Of course, I done that short live stream the other day, got cut off, and a 24-minute live stream took shit, what, 17, 18 hours to show up on my channel. You want to talk about pushing people down because they don't like truth? Seems truth hurts a lot of people nowadays. I don't know why. Outside of, they'll scream they don't want to be lied to. They hate liars. That's right. They hate liars. But when you tell them the truth, they hate the truth as much as they hate liars. They really do. And you go through life hating truth, not wanting lied to, but not wanting the truth, wanting to be told whatever the bubble is. Don't want your little feelers hurt. That's right. Now we got feeler crimes. Mm-hmm. Crimes against feelers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the insane society we live in. But here we go. Nobody's typing in the chat. Now it says I maybe have one person in here. Uh huh. I don't know. I don't know if I got anybody in here. I have no way of knowing that unless somebody decides they're going to start typing. I won't know that. Hey, that's the thing I love about being pushed down and shut up and all that good crap. I think I've been being pushed down and censored, I mean, seriously, a lot longer than most of these people on YouTube. Most of these people up here on the tubes has not been pushed down the way I've been pushed down. Now they're being pushed down. They have been for the last about year and a half. But they've never been pushed down as much as me because I was being pushed down the way they are now 6, 7 years ago. No lie. Fact. But there we are, see. Don't appear we have much for viewers, right? Current viewers, too. So we'll just wait. We'll see if anybody shows up here. Or if I freeze up, who knows? If nobody shows up, no big deal. I'm just going to give my little rant and get out of here. You know how that'll be, right? Somebody shows up, at least I'll know I'm talking to somebody, but nobody's typing no comments, so I don't even know if anybody's here. After all, with this new setup, you can't tell anything anyhow. And that's because YouTube or Google there don't never leave their hands off nothing. Really? Now we got a car alarm going off outside my door. Huh, that's nice. Hey, there's some sound effects for you, by golly. There you go. You hear sound effects? That's sound effects. Oh, darn, my sound effects went away. By golly, there is somebody in here. Yes, it's Bill. At least I know I'm being seen. You're the first person to even let me know I was being seen. And nobody else done that. But I ain't got nothing for viewers right now anyhow, so what's the difference, right? I got quite used to that. People got to find me because Google's not about to let you know I'm up. No, they're not about to let you know I'm up, most likely. But I wanted to do a little rant that I was going to do the other day, and then I got interrupted right after I started the stream. And then, of course, I had to leave because of that, and here I am today. Didn't get a chance yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment, and I had stuff that I had to do yesterday, so I couldn't do anything. So I had to wait to this day before I could come back up again. No, I get shut down and I get censored and all this good crap and pushed down because people don't want to hear truth and. And what I was going to rant about the other day was actually something people need to pay attention to. It shows I got one person in here, at least they've typed, and I appreciate you doing that because my current views, according to this damn live stream, the new setup says I have current viewers zero. That's right. So I guess you're not here, okay? Okay, Dean, you're not here. You have typed 3 comments to me because you're not here. According to this. Unreal, huh? But there you go. You don't get no truth out of Google. You don't get no truth out of any of these creeps. All you get is propaganda, lies, and more propaganda, and more lies, and more propaganda, and more lies. And, that's what you get from your television set is lie after lie after lie after lie. That's right. You never told the truth because we live in a world full of liars. We live in a world full of selfishness and greed. Yep, I'm back down to 0 viewers again. I went from 1 viewer to 2 viewers to 0 viewers when you were leaving comments. And then I went up to 4 viewers, and now I'm back down to 0 viewers. That's pretty cool. Yep. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing on my side, okay? So, I can't help that any. I can't control what I'm seeing on my side, but it just tells. See, you can't even do a legit live stream and have them be legit about that neither, right? Right. Couldn't do that neither. You got to manipulate that too, don't you? Couldn't be honest if your life depended on it, could you? Could you, Google? Anyhow, so what I was going to rant about the other day was basically, did you realize there's absolutely no excuse for homelessness? There's absolutely no excuse for a system that's set up that favors the very few and dumps on the rest. That's right. That's the system we live in. A system that was designed to destroy. From your very first sport arena that ever came to existence in the history of the United States, people said, well, that's for entertainment. It was never about entertainment, ever, ever. It was about to set your mindset into competing against one another. And what does competing do for us? Well, it makes us angry. It frustrates us, makes us angry, makes us hate the other person. That's what competition does, and that's what sports has done. Oh, you don't want to believe me? Sports has done that? All you got to do is pay attention. If you'd really open your eyes and pay attention, you would discover that there's been lots of cases where people went to a game and they had on their favorite jersey of their team that they were there supporting. And of course, their team had to have a team against to play against, didn't they? Because they wasn't playing against themselves. And so then a fan from the opposite team attacked that person because they hated the team that person liked and attacked them. No lie, this has happened more than one time. Or they get angry because their team's losing and they attack somebody that's rooting for the team that they don't like. And it becomes physical competition. It becomes bodily harm. It becomes hospitalized. See, that's what sports done for you. Then you took that freaking competition, you propaganded people into the mindset, conditioned them for, and you carried it over to the workplace. To be successful, you have to be the one that steps on somebody else's face. You have to be the one that puts somebody down and kicks them while they're down. And that's what makes you successful. So what you're really saying is you have to be a parasite. You have to be a complete piece of you-know-what. Okay, and that's the only way. That's really what you're saying. Okay, so there you are. This is what the job site's done for you all over the place. We're competing against each other. Companies competing against companies. That's right. Then greed. Oh, yeah. Because, see, we set up the monetary system so that very few could be successful. And success was how it was based. That even went into the dating arena now. You had to have game, didn't you? Yep. And then we gave you gender roles, which is a man-made construct. That's right. And then we played double standards and we spoiled rotten one gender and dumped on the other gender so we could create division between the genders. It worked, didn't it? You know, when we pampered and spoiled the female gender, we created double standards, we turned our heads, we looked the other way, and we all competed to get a woman in their life. That's right. Meanwhile, millions of men go out and can never get anybody because the TV stuff, the brainwashing box, shaped their perceptions. And so the females chasing, well, what programming and social engineering is done. You know, in the dating arena, nobody takes the time to get to know each other because there was no time to get to know each other, but you couldn't figure out why it wouldn't work out. But this is what I've been saying all along. People don't know what they're doing. They don't understand they've been lied to from the day they were brought home from the hospital. By their television set, by their government, by their media, and by their school system. Well, you know what needs to happen is we need to create a new currency and we need to take the people that currently own all the monetary systems and lock them up and take everything away from them. And you got to get care back. And that's no lie. We got to start treating each other like human beings. You got to stop thinking you're above somebody else because you're not. I don't give a shit what your gender is, you're not above nobody else. I don't give a shit what your position is in life, you're not above another human being. And you know, but we run around with the mindset that we're above you because the system was set up to do that to you. For division. So here we are. You know, here we are in a situation we shouldn't be in because of what? You know, and then they let their egos flate up and they think, oh, yeah, and this and that and that. You're not. You're not. You never been. You're just a piece of crap. You know, the reality is there's absolutely no excuse for what we're watching going on. There's no excuse for homelessness. There's no excuse. You got all them people in California working full-time jobs for the privilege of living in their vehicle. And do we care? No, we don't care at all, do we? Well, it's not affecting me, so why should I care? And then when this shit comes down the pipes and does affect you, then you're going to suddenly care. But guess what? Why would we care? Because you had no care. Do you see where this is going? Do you see what it's done to us? Then I sit there and watch all this phony crap coming on this year with this BS of your corporation you're calling your government and your selection process. That's right, you're not voting for nothing. It's all selected. They've already selected who they're putting in your face. You're just picking if you want John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, which one you want to kill you or destroy your life. Oh, I think I'm going to vote for Jeffrey Dahmer. The other one would be, no, I like Ted Bundy better. There you go. This is where we're at. Then when the bad happens to you, huh? I don't understand. I mean, the mindset of people are completely out to lunch. You hear all these people say, well, we know what politicians lie to us, but we're still going to vote for one. Yep, we're going to vote for a liar, and then we're going to complain and cry and whine when we're lied to. But yet you went and voted for a liar. Absolutely insane. But there is absolutely no excuse for any of this crap. Outside of you're all too busy one-upping one another. That's what's going on. We're all too busy trying to one-up somebody else. Walk all over the top of somebody else and get your little ego going and your little power trip and your little feeling in your gut that, oh yeah, that made me more of a man. No, it didn't. It made you a parasite. I absolutely despise this world. And why do I despise it? Because everybody's a coward. You don't live in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. You live in America, the land of the enslaved and the home of the cowards. Oh, and don't think any of these other countries are any better. Because they're also the land of the enslaved and home of the cowards. You got to witness that over the last umpteen months with something that didn't even exist. Unreal. And they sold the lie to you and you believed it. You're running around with diapers on your face. I think we should pay some company to make little mini rolls of toilet paper. We'll call it face paper. So when you take your diaper off your face, you can wipe the crap off your face. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. It really is. It's just completely unreal with what I'm seeing coming in. But, you know, I've been watching this all year long, and this is Agenda 21 all day long. You can't get around it. It's Agenda 21. They gave you a little bit of breather during the summer months. That's right. And now we're moving into the colder season. It's time to take it. It's time to take it away from you. You know, we're headed into some really nasty, ugly times. You ain't seen nothing yet. They're getting ready to move into step 2 of their plans. That's right. They're moving from step 1 to step 2. And you ain't seen nothing yet. You're about to see all kinds of right out evil. Right out evil. With people who don't care. You've got to have care. You know, and that's the real problem that we have. I mean, you got to really think about it. We created all these double standards in society. We pampered and placed women on a pedestal. We allowed the TV set to shape our minds. We allowed the media to shape our minds. We divide and conquer. That's exactly what you're seeing. So here we are with divide and conquer. Here we are with women that think they're gods when they're not. Here we are with politicians and criminal bankers who all think they're gods because our world is run by the 13 families, which is all bankers. None of this stuff's an accident. None of it. TFL should not exist. MGTOW shouldn't exist. Incel shouldn't exist. There's no excuse for it. Just like homelessness shouldn't exist. There's not no shortage of food. Yeah, man creates shortages. See, everything is a man construct created by a bunch of sick, greedy individuals. And that's really what you're witnessing going on. What hope do men have? I'll tell you what, you took any chance away from the majority of men. Because unless they were successful, the woman wouldn't give them a time of day. How? Or unless they were this tall and looked like that and looked like this and had a 3-figure income, huh? So what? It was about what? There you go. It's about herself. It's about selfishness, just like what we see with the men. We got to keep attacking one another. We got to keep calling each other names. And the list just goes on and on and on and on. of what we're doing to one another. I don't blame people for becoming frustrated, you know? I see Blue Skies Media's in here, and I know he gets attacked a lot, doesn't he? He gets attacked in his comment section. He goes through a life of hell. He's living up there in the New York area. Okay? He's a worker like everybody else out here trying to work and make some ends meet, try to get some inner life, and then you get so frustrated because you can't. And then when you do, it don't last, it don't work out because nobody knows that you're supposed to meet each other, date each other. Dating wasn't about getting down their pants. Dating was about getting to know one another so you could see if you had things in common. If you had things in common, then you could move forward, you could become friends. That's right, men and women belong becoming friends. Because through friendship, you find real love. You find the person that could be a mate for life. Oh, but that went out the window, didn't it? It sure did. Now everybody's, oh, the woman don't got time for that. No, she ain't got time for that. Well, you wonder why nothing ever worked out, huh? You know, it's just sad. It's sick. I get so fed up at looking at what's going on and watching people get shit on for no reason and watching our society who has set up a monetary system to where we're competing against each other. Anybody ever looked into the presidents? Did you know all the presidents are related? Go clear back to George Washington, clear up to today's time, and there's only one president that wasn't a family member. The rest of all the presidents are related on the family tree. You know, I posted a video up with a little 11-year-old girl in school who did a family tree of the presidents, and she was astounded. She thought she fucking discovered something that nobody knew about. And she was going to try to tell them, well, but she was a kid. How would she know? See, and I've known that for a long time. Of course, all the presidents are lied. One of the biggest lies they ever gave you in school is when they said, if you do good, one day you could be a president. No, you couldn't. You'd have to be related. You'd have to be a bloodline. You'd have to be family bloodline. Yeah, I know. I said that based on stuff I've seen, and I'll tell you what, publicly to Blue Skies Media, you know, after I really got looking at you because I didn't know who you was, and I saw what I saw, and Monday definitely was working for the establishment, just like Annika was. They met each other in Mensa, okay? And then, of course, you had that thing with Monday, so that threw me off, and so I'm going to give Blue Skies Media an apology. I think he's owed that, okay? I really do. So I'm going to give him an apology because I could tell he's not. Okay, but it's so easy for people not to be able to see through stuff. I just got to learn to if I'd watched him a little bit longer, I would have realized it and I should have kept my mouth shut. So that was my bad, not his. Okay, so the apology is for real. That is to Blue Skies Media. Because I'm not a complete dick. Yeah, I've seen some of that with you. And I don't approve of that. My frustration is we have so many people that have sold out for the money. So many people have sold out for the money. Okay, on YouTube, no lie, who are working for the establishment and will openly, bold-facedly look you in the face and lie to you and manipulate you because they're on their assignment. They don't care. They're making buku money. Well, they're going to care where all this crap comes in. You know, because it's going to destroy everybody's lives. Everybody's. I am not a hater of people. I'm a hater of corruption. I'm a hater of double standards. I'm a hater of division amongst the genders. It's destroying people's lives all over the world. So many men can't even get one person in their damn life. And then when they do get that one person in life, it's like, why did you take that hammer and beat yourself in the head? Because most females, unfortunately, as much as I don't like to say it, has no respect for men at all. The first time they don't get one of their wants, oh, okay, I'm out the door, man. I'm on my way, because they got so much choice. Don't they? You damn right they do. And it just annoys the hell out of me. I've watched so much stuff happen, but see, people don't realize that the manosphere was infiltrated a long time ago, and the manosphere was created by NWO. Why do you think men have so much trouble getting somebody? Many decades of social engineering and brain rape. And you have no idea you were brainwashed, because you go, ain't nobody's going to be able to brainwash somebody they told you they were going to brainwash you. Your brainwashing started when you were brought home from the hospital as an infant baby. By the time you got old enough to know anything, you're already the only thing you know is lies. You don't know very much truth unless you take the time to go look for yourself, use critical thinking skills, and sit back and pay attention. And that's really where it comes from. I mean, I'm glad to see Blue Skies Media in here. I really am. Okay, and I gave the apology openly in public because he deserves that. All Blue Skies Media is a guy who's very frustrated, very angry, and put down. And there's so many men worldwide that have been put down, it's not even funny. My frustration in the manosphere is you can't get men to stand together. Men want to keep playing the game. They came from the sports arena. Yeah, that's right, from the sports arena. The very first sports arena that ever came in the United States. They sold it to you as entertainment, like they sold your TV set as entertainment. And you actually believed the sports arena was entertainment. You actually believed the television set was entertainment. And it was all about brainwashing. It was all about changing your perceptions and your beliefs and getting you to compete against one another. And then we use the monetary system in the same way. Oh, you know what people do for money, man? They'll kick you down, stomp you down, they'll lie, they'll brown nose the hell out of their boss. And the first time a brown noser gets a position on a job, their head swells up, their fucking chest sticks out. They think they're something they're not, and everybody under them now gets treated like dirt. And then these people are running around trying to suck on them and kiss their you-know-what to get ahead. It's got to stop. There's no two ends about it, man. It's got to stop. Now, this one goes out to Blue Skies Media. If Blue Skies Media wants to download Zoom, which is a free app, and send me a friend invite, I'll accept that friend invite, and then if he ever wants to come up live with me, I'll bring him up live. Then you'll see what you're doing now. You need to see what I put up here, man? Just look at this. Everything is backwards. Everything is upside down. Doctors destroy health. Lawyers destroy justice. Psychiatrists destroy minds. Scientists destroy truth. Major media destroys information. Religions destroy spirituality. And governments destroy freedom. All factual truths right in your face. Oh, I'll bet you do get attacked by men more than you do women. Man, if you get a woman in your life, other men become jealous of you. It'd be like when I brought Jane on the Saturday Night Live TFL. Oh my God. I caught it before I ever did it. I said when I brought her on, I was going to be attacked. I said that they would say we were together when we wasn't. That's right. Because they don't understand a man and woman can just be friends. Okay? And so I brought her on the Saturday Night Live stream, and oh my God, and I said they would say we were together, they would call us simps, and we would be attacked hard by men. And we was. Everything I said before I brought her up live, I was talking with Harry, and I was talking with Nick, and I was, everything we talked about played out. Within 20 minutes, it was all happening. That quick. All because I brought a female on Saturday Night Live. Now, how many of you guys think you could ever get a woman in your life when this is the way you're going to act? And the only thing you're doing is inflating the woman's head and helping to make women more toxic. You can't keep playing double standards and attacking other men and get anywhere. You can't stop what's going on in society if you don't wake up and see what's going on and start standing together. You know, that's where that comes from. Well, I'll type something in you. If you got Zoom, I'll give you my email. You use it, and I'll send you a friend invite, okay? Or send me one, and then I can add you. Okay, that goes out to Blue Skies Media. Use that email. Send me a friend's invite if you got Zoom. And if you want on, all you got to do is say something. I'll invite you in the phone call. Nobody will see your face. They'll just hear your voice. Because what they'll see is what you're looking at right now. I always leave a screen drop in. I have a paid Zoom account. I could have phone calls, but unfortunately, without a screen drop, it would show everybody's phone number to the public, and I don't want that. So I just keep screen drops up so that's all people see is screen drops. It's not that I hide myself. You know, I've been online for what, 14 years. My face is out there over and over and over and over again. You know, I fire up Zoom before I went live, so if somebody come along that's in my contacts list and wanted to come in, I can bring them in. They just got to type me and say, hi, I'm here. I want in, and I'll invite them in. They'll come in on Zoom as a conference, and they'll be on the live stream. That's how that works. I just get very frustrated because I want what's right for everybody. And I hate corruption to a T. You know, my rant the other day was strictly this type of stuff, and it was about the fact that our monetary system and everything we've got, there is no excuse for any of the crap we're seeing going on. Absolutely no excuse. The only excuse we have is because we failed to stand up for ourselves. You know, you see somebody wearing a uniform and you're scared crap. You're scared shitless. Oh, they got a badge and they got a uniform. Oh no, I couldn't stand up against them. They have a uniform. You know, I've had a few of them. I'm telling you, believe me, I've had quite a few of them over the years myself, Blue Skies Media. Most of them are just blowing hot wind. No lie. Keep your name as you got it, Blue Skies Media. Don't give out your personal information to somebody you know them personally. Talking to them personally and make sure you know them really good before you give them any personal information. Most people are just blowing hot wind. You know, they do this because they want you to disappear. They want you to shut up. They want you to run. They want you to be a coward. And the minute you leave because they did it, oh man, their ego just inflates even bigger. Ha ha, run him off. That's one less competition to compete against. There's their mindset. It's fucking sick. It really is. Excuse my language, but it is. I just don't like the crap, you know. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Now, I am logged into Zoom, so if anybody that's in my contacts list wants on this live stream, you have to let me know. Or you just need to type me on Zoom in the messenger box and say, hi, Bill, can I come in? And I'll bring you in. But we have that problem, too. We got too many people that are afraid to open their mouth. And if you're afraid to open your mouth, then ain't nothing ever going to change. You can't change nothing by turning your head. You can't change nothing by keeping your mouth shut. And if you get attacked for opening your mouth, keep opening. It means you're doing something right. That's what that says. It says you're doing something right. Let's see if this works. There we go. I typed a hi. If that's him. I do believe it is. We'll just keep it as Blue Skies Media because nobody's going to know the name I'm looking at because that's nobody's business. Well, you have a right to be angry. You really do. You really have a right to be angry. That part I'll never blame you for, man. You have a right to be angry. You know, if you want in here, if that's you, just say you want in and I'll bring you in. Don't matter to me. It beats talking to myself sometimes. And I don't mind hearing other people's rants about what they're going through themselves. And ain't nobody going to come in here and throw you in this stream because I'll freaking take them out. That's how that works. I hesitate not to block people who attack me. Let me make sure my OBS studio is going to pick this up when they come in. Once they come in here, I'm going to make sure my OBS studio is picking up the audio. Otherwise, I'd have to start all over again. Well, here I am. Okay, your audio's about to hook up. It's not quite there yet. It's coming, it's coming. And make sure you mute the sound on YouTube so we don't get feedback. You ain't got your audio hooked just yet. It's working on it. Give it a second. Give it a minute. It's trying to hook. It's connecting. Once your audio's connected, then you'll be heard. I'm watching it right now. It's sitting there trying to connect. Come on, audio. It's being a little slow. I see you there. We're just trying to get your audio to connect. Yeah, because the audio's not wanting to connect. It's sitting here flipping up and down, man. I got to wait for that audio to connect. Come on. Once the audio connects, they'll hear you. Then I got to make sure that my OBS studio's hearing you. Okay, let me try this. We're not getting an audio on you for whatever reason. Come on. There it goes. Now say something. Okay, his audio connected. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's working now. So am I part of the stream right now?
You are part of the stream. Talk so I can make sure the OBS studio's got you.
Okay, all right. Y'all can hear me?
Yep, they hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, I'm really at the point where, like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do because at the moment, the whole population, the whole human population is just willing to just happily roll over and be obedient little slaves and let them just completely destroy everything. They've completely collapsed the world economy, and everybody's like, "Oh, everything's fine," and I have no words. I cannot believe something like this could happen. Like that, everybody could be this stupid.
Unfortunately, there's times I feel like this. That you know all the movies on the zombies. The only difference is they're not eating brains because they don't have any damn brains to eat. They're all brainless. We're living in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, That's the best way to put it.
I mean, that's exactly
Oh
how I
my
feel.
God.
I'm living in a zombie apocalypse. I'm surrounded by zombies. They're not eating brains because they don't have any to eat. And I'm looking for my spaceship to get the hell off this planet because I don't know how the hell I got here.
That's exactly how I feel. And I've been trying to warn people and wake people up since I was like 15 years old. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I was just different to people. Everyone else just, I don't know. I was just different. I didn't fall for the propaganda. I didn't fall for the bullshit. I couldn't be brainwashed for whatever reason. And I'm not saying that I've never believed anything that was false. I was in the manosphere, and I was MGTOW for a while, and you, I was worried about the symptoms of the problem rather than the cancer itself. And then I realized that something in the back of my mind always told me this isn't right. We're going after the symptoms instead of the disease here. And that's
We
why I don't
are.
really see myself as a MGTOW anymore.
Well, this is why, I've said this for a long time now. I've told people they're chasing symptoms. They're chasing symptoms. Nobody's looking for the root cause. When I first come up online, I gave the name TFL, True Forced Loneliness, to everybody. Okay? I was called a nut job. I was said there's no such thing as true forced loneliness. Nobody can be forced to be alone. I was attacked and I was attacked and I was attacked and I was attacked. And then these people run off and shared my name and shared my channel with everybody on the goddamn internet. And pretty soon it took off and went viral. Now it's all over the world. They helped me do it. You hate my guts so much, you helped me. Thank you. Okay. But the reality is over time, we had all these people show up from all over the world going through the same damn thing. So even though you've had a wife in your life that you love that passed away, meanwhile, right underneath your nose, it was getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And the thing is, when I was with her, I had no idea. Um, luckily I was smart enough to know that she was special, and I should never. I was doing everything I could not to fuck up, and I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a saint, but something told me like just don't let go of her, don't let go of her, don't let her go, don't let her go. And um, but at the same time, while I was with her, I was like blissfully oblivious to the fact that relations between the genders were going to hell, were going down the shitter, that we were being socially engineered to turn against each other, and this TFL incel thing. I didn't even know what an incel was, until a couple of years ago.
Did you realize
I
that?
only found out. I'm sorry.
I was
No,
just
I was
gonna
just I was just
go
gonna
ahead.
say I only found out because a friend of mine, I walked out. I walked out of my apartment one day, and my neighbor and my friend, he says to me, "Yo, you're not gonna kill anyone, are you?" I was like, "Fuck, are you talking about?" And that's about the time Elliot Rodger had just killed. It turns out that Elliot Rodger had just killed those people the night before. And so,
Okay,
then
also
the
throw
stick.
yeah, I'll
The,
throw some things at you because I don't know if you realize this. Elliot Rogers' daddy was the director of Hunger Games. Elliot Rogers was an actor. Elliot Rogers isn't dead.
yeah, that's right.
You can take
I,
that
you
to the
know, I, I
bank.
wouldn't be surprised.
No, he's not dead.
I
He was
wouldn't
an
be
actor.
surprised.
That was a psyop, man, a gigantic psyop thrown in people's face.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is how they operate. There's so many psyops going on. I've seen, and I'm watching things, and I'm watching this psyop going on now, where in some of the news footage with this scamdemic, they're literally showing footage of the paramedics. I actually paused some of the footage. I downloaded some of the footage, paused it, and you can see it's a fucking dummy on the stretcher, right? And I'm showing this to everybody. Look, this is fake. This is fake. They still called me nuts. They called me a conspiracy theorist. Told me I was being selfish.
Well, conspiracy theorist was a name given by the CIA to help keep anybody that told truth painted out as a nut job. Okay,
Absolutely.
so you're gonna be called that, and there's so much that's taken place, like with incel itself came out of a university in Canada, and it was a female who couldn't get laid.
That's right.
Okay, now let's just make sense out of this. First off, there's not too many females that couldn't get laid, period. Okay, especially in
Yeah,
today's society. Okay, and so when you think about it,
well, of
incel
course.
was brought out of a university, and when you really look at universities, a lot of the major programming and stuff that's come into society came out of universities. And who owns and runs all colleges worldwide, all school systems worldwide? Corporations called government, led by bankers.
Well, this is the thing. Universities, the school systems have been nothing but indoctrination centers from the start. You know,
Yeah,
that's where they pump the propaganda into young minds from a young age. You know, while they're still permeable, while they still at a certain age, a child will just believe whatever adults tell them. And it was the same thing for me when my parents, when I was little, my parents told me there's no such thing as ghosts.
yeah.
No such thing
Unfortunately,
as aliens, and I was like, okay, I didn't question
I
it
stay away from incel
until I
because,
UFO in the sky, and I was, oh,
yeah. Well, I stay away from incel completely because incel is a construct created by the elite, brought to us by the elite. The beginning of this year, there was an article that came out in February of this year out of Texas, and it was called the Incel Rebellion. They listed 20 years of guys that were supposedly incel who went out and attacked public, and they used Elliot Rogers as their deal. These guys idolizing him. So what
I
they
don't understand that. Why do these guys idolize Elliot Rogers so much? I don't.
because
It's
they
not
don't
like he was
understand
even.
he's an actor, because what they're really doing is they're painting incel, and they've taken TFL, and from the very beginning of True Force Loneliness, I separated incel because incel stands for involuntary celibate. You can't get sex.
Yeah,
Most TFLers, most real TFLers, it's not about sex. They want that
yeah,
one meaningful person in their life that they can grow old, have children with, and a family.
exactly. I always wanted love in a family, and that's a natural thing. And society is so ass backwards and inverted that you know, people look at me like I'm crazy. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, why do you want a relationship? Why do you want a family?" It's like, well, why would I? And it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, why would I even have to explain this to somebody? That's like saying, why do you want food? Why do you want water? You
Oh
know,
God,
it's
I
a
totally
natural.
agree with you because I did some videos with a guy named Jerry for almost 2 years, and he's a handicapped guy, no less. Okay, he literally was born with limbs missing from the bottom half of his body, and so he walks on phony legs, right? So he's actually legitimately handicapped. When he didn't know what TFL was, and he says to me, "Well, if people want to get laid, I can show them how to get laid in a week." Okay, and I says to him, "It's not about getting laid." Then he goes, "Well, what would it be about then?" I says, "It's about people who want to meet one person that they can become friends with, become best friends with, fall in love with, and have a life with, and have kids." And he says to me, "Why would anybody want that?"
I know, and it's like people are so detached from their humanity now that any normal, natural, healthy thing is viewed as weird, and you're sort of like a yeah. I might as well be an alien, and it's just it's maddening. It's absolute madness, and I just can't. The, to be honest, this planet, this society we live in, this is hell. This is hell. I can't imagine hell being much worse than this. You know.
Well, I would agree with you on that. We're living in hell right now, and we've been living in hell, and it's getting worse. And if people don't, if people do not reach in the back of them and pull their head back out of there, you know what?
Yeah.
We don't have long left
No, we don't.
because they
We got a
have
few brains
they
stand an
literally
hourglass
have
left.
it down to 80 to 85% of the people alive in America will no longer be here by 2025. They'll be dead.
Yeah. And dead in a horrible way too. We're talking about like starvation, you know, extreme poverty. we're talking about like complete human subjugation. Crime is going to skyrocket. It already is going.
Oh, you're gonna
You know,
see. This is gonna be really ugly. You're gonna see everything you said plus. Okay, you
yeah.
know, in August 10th of this year, I'm up in my hometown because I came back to my hometown. So I'm in the state of Iowa where I grew up, and we had a storm that was up on the other side of Des Moines, okay, on the west side of Des Moines, which is away from me because I'm on the east right off the Mississippi. So this storm was like shit, 5, 6 hours away. Typically for a storm, okay, it's over 200 miles away, okay. So
Hmm.
my air raid sirens are going off, and I'm going, what? And I first saw, okay, it's the monthly, and I looked at the date, and I says, no, it's not. What the hell? So I went and looked, see if we had something called storm, and it showed we were under severe storm warning. So I went and looked at the radar, and the damn thing was on the other side of Des Moines. An hour later, it was in my town, and it was out of my town within 10 minutes. And we had no power. It wiped out trees, it wiped out roofs, it dropped lines everywhere. Superstorm, man, was going over 200 miles an hour, flew through this town and trashed us. Man-made storm, weather warfare.
Yeah, that's HARP. And
Yes,
what else? Other things. Not to mention, there's so much crazy stuff going on with. I'm sure you're familiar with CERN.
yes.
Now that is some scary shit right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I got a feeling this is what we're going to see. We're going to see food shortages up the yin yang because they've been wiping the food out across the U.S. and across around the world. Okay.
Yeah,
Iowa lost 49% of its crops to that
they're
storm.
they're they're killing people's livestock. They're basically implementing all these insane measures on farmers that are causing them to lose crops and kill their own livestock. Are you familiar with High Impact Flicks? Guy called Brian.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I call him Little Alex Jones.
Oh
The
yeah.
only reason I
Um,
call him that is because he reminds me of Alex when all of us trying to sell us stuff. And I've literally heard this guy telling people, come on, I've got to get donations or I can't keep doing this. And I'm like, when you're speaking truth about what's going on in the world, why do you think you got to have monetary gain for doing so? That to me, that's like the equivalence of somebody comes through your door, okay, and you're going to tell them, well, I'll fight back if you give me some money.
yeah, yeah. No, you got a point there. I see. This is the thing. I've never asked anyone for a penny on here. None of my videos are monetized. I don't have a Patreon. You know, like to a certain extent, I understand being a full-time YouTuber, and if you don't have like a regular job, then it's important. Like everybody has to make a living. It's the monetary system. Unfortunately, this is the crazy thing. People can't even think past money. Money doesn't have to exist. But it's just yeah. So
No, no, you're
I know.
correct. I agree with you on what you're saying. I'm not against what you're saying because I totally do agree with you. I guess I just get frustrated at the fact that when it comes to what's going on in society, you should never be asking for monetary gain to tell the truth about what's going to destroy your life and everybody around you.
Yeah, that's a fact. I agree with you on that, and that's why I wasn't really too happy with Corey Feldman asking $10,000. Just
Yeah, Corey Feldman, I think that was another just BS thing because this guy wanted money. And if you really had these experiences in Hollywood, why would you not want these people in jail and prosecuted? Why would you be after money?
exactly. And Isaac Cappy, I don't know if that was a psyop too, but he was supposed to have been killed for exposing pedophiles in Hollywood.
Well, now there could be some truth to that because unfortunately, a lot of your stuff that's at the very, very top echelon of people who won't be prosecuted and stuff. Okay, okay, they do stuff like this and they'll never be arrested. I mean, George Herbert Walker Bush, George Jr.'s daddy, he actually had boys from Boy Towns up at the White House for you know what.
It's very sick. It's like it's beyond sick, and your average person doesn't have the slightest clue. I mean, it's starting to get out. More and more people are become, pedogate thing worldwide, the worldwide pedo networks. But it's like even for me when I found out about this, it just I still have trouble sleeping because I can't believe the world is this sick and evil, and it's been happening right under our noses all this time.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just
the world unfortunately is that sick. When I first come on with TFL, I was very angry. I was very pissed and very angry, and I started researching because I wanted to know why the hell are men and women acting this way? Why are we treating each other this way? Why are there so many men that can't even get a woman in their life? And hell, that was 14 and a half years ago. Okay. Little did I know when I started researching what I was going to walk into. And the more I dug, the more I walked into it, the more I realized that all of this came from the elite. The 13 families are responsible for every bit of this, and then, of course, all the order followers.
yep.
I hate order followers because you don't demonstrate any critical thinking skills. You do demonstrate you have absolutely no care for anybody but yourself. And if that
Well, that's
mentality
why.
don't go away, I mean, let the bombs fall, man.
Yeah, that's why I never got into this whole even though I despise the left, I despise Antifa, I despise BLM. I never really got on the whole MAGA train because they love to worship authority. They love they're bootlickers. They love cops so much. They worship cops, and it's like it's like if you're on the left, all cops are evil, racist, fucking stormtroopers and everything. If you're on the right, if you're a conservative, then all cops are great fucking people, and they're just it's just it's stupid. There's no nuance. People can't seem to. It's one extreme or another with people. They've picked their team and that's it. They believe you dogmatically believe either one thing or another. It's just I've never been. That's why I can't get through to people. I can't convince people. It's like my friend was saying the other day, oh, the Democrats are pushing this vaccine. I was like, why do you keep saying the Democrats? The vaccine is being pushed no matter who's in power. Trump even said himself that he was going to, he was bragging about getting this vaccine out and you know, pushing, forcing it on people in the future. You know, those words
There,
came out of his own mouth.
yeah, well, there was a great documentary that I watched the day before yesterday, and actually, Richie from Boston posted it up. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes long. It's out of Australia, but it touches everything worldwide in it. I mean, it's a really great documentary, and it shows they followed the trail of vaccination shots clear back. And one thing I say about vaccinations is simple. If vaccinations was a must for us to survive, then technically we shouldn't be here. Because 100 years ago, there was no such thing as a vaccination shot.
Exactly.
So we should all be dead. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. We're all dead. We're not here, man. We're all just B10, right? We're just illusions, right? What a
Yeah.
fucking joke.
And the crazy thing is it's not even hard to think about this stuff critically. It's just not, and yet nobody can. It's like nobody can do the easiest thing or be competent in any way as like a sentient being. It's just mad. It just makes me so. When I think about this stuff, when I talk about it, I just get full of rage. That's why you see me like raging in a lot of these videos, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're so angry. You're always raging and everything." It's like, yeah, you should be too. You should be angry too.
you know, that reminds me of me, but I couldn't get by with doing what I did, man. If you was around 13 and a half, 14 years ago when I first come up here, you would have seen one angry motherfucker. I had
I,
people taking my videos and ripping them, putting them together. I kept a couple they put together, okay? And I was very angry. I was ranting. I was pissed. I was everything you could think of. And so when I see you ranting, your ranting don't bother me any, okay? I know people say, well, you're going to go ER, okay? Well, you know what? I've been told for 14 years that True Force Loneliness TFL is dangerous to society. And I even had one
Yeah.
female come up and says, okay, well, you had a killer subscribe to you. A murderer was subscribed to you. You're
Well,
dangerous to
Elliot Rodger was
society.
subscribed to you.
No, this is like 14 years ago, and
Oh,
she never specified who was the supposedly murderer that was subscribed to me. But newsflash, 90% of the people who subscribe to you, you've never met in your life, let alone never talked to in your life. And if they killed
exactly.
somebody, you wouldn't even know they killed somebody.
Exactly. But that's somehow your fault. And
Right,
um,
exactly.
I th- and I got to get this out here, and I should make a video on this. I think I actually did mention this in my last video, but I believe they're trying to socially engineer me to be the next Elliot Rodger. That's why I'm getting attacked so much, so
Well,
viciously,
they
because
would
I've been
love to see
fans
you
for
do that,
years.
I
Yeah,
think the people, unfortunately, we're going to be targeted. It's no different than Steve Hoka, okay? After that so-called phony
yeah,
baloney Canada run me over, Huffington Post run an article on that so-called incel guy that ran them women over in Canada with the van,
yeah.
okay?
Alec Manassian.
Right, and they put Steve
Hmm.
Hoka's name in the middle of that article.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
That is no accident, dude.
No, it's of course not. Yeah,
Okay, which means he was targeted. So, and myself, I would stay as far away from incel as you could be. If you want to go
yeah.
MGTOW, I mean, when MGTOW first come out, Barbarossa, MRA, when I first come on, there was no such thing as MGTOW.
Oh, he was one of the first people I listened to.
You did
He
not
might have been the
have,
first one I listened to, actually. Then Sandman.
yeah. So, but Barbarossa is the one that gave the name MGTOW. And I always told people if mass numbers of men would have taken that seriously and walked away from women, you wouldn't have had to walk away for no more than about 5 years, and women would have stopped, backed up, and started thinking about what they were doing, and you could have turned this around. But nobody took it seriously. But you know what they did do? They took MGTOW and put it mainstream. And there's only one reason MGTOW would ever go mainstream, because they feared exactly what I just said, and they didn't want that to happen. So they destroyed MGTOW. So now you got all these people
Yeah,
running around pumping and dumping. Well, what do you think pumping and dumping is going to do? It's going to keep us divided.
exactly. And I never liked that because it was such a short-sighted it's not a solution to anything. It's just like a petty revenge fantasy. It's like, well,
Yes.
women treated me like shit, so I'm gonna pump and dump them, and oh, I'm such an alpha male. But it's like it doesn't address the fact that it's part of population control. Populations are falling, birth rates are falling, and there's all these other social problems that I always felt like MGTOW never addressed. And I never wanted to just go around pumping, dumping women. I always wanted love, and I felt like MGTOW just left a huge empty hole where there was areas of my life that I wanted to fix. I wanted to get some answers. I wanted to I never wanted to be in this situation. It's fucking horrible. It really
Well,
is. And
there only was
um,
only one way MGTOW could have ever been a solution. And that's the only reason it went mainstream, because they didn't dare have men actually start walking away from women, because that would have caused women to stop and think and correct their own behaviors. That was socially engineered to begin with. One of the things I've always said what they did through social engineering programming is, if you took a poll and on one side was programming social engineering directed at men, on the other side of the poll was social engineering directed at women, both
yeah,
genders are victims. But one gender is a secondary victim and the other gender is a primary victim. Well, the primary victim is men.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, this is only possible. Like the social engineers, the psychopaths in power, only have the power they do because we willingly give it to them. And it's the same thing with the situation with women. They only have the power they do over men because men give it up to them. And it's like I can give you a perfect example of how I've seen. But I have so many stories
Oh
like
my
this where
God, but you know what you said? I'm actually really happy to hear you say that because it tells me a lot about you. You're very awake.
Thanks. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, just them words alone, because I've said that so many freaking times over the years, and people, for whatever reason, it's just like you say that to them, and it's like a deer looking at you in headlights.
that's
Huh?
I get that look from everyone all the time, and it drives me crazy. It infuriates me. It's like, where's your brain? Hello, think. Hear what I said. Like it's just, but to get to this example, like I'll keep it brief because it's, there's millions of stories like this, and you get the idea. But when I was about 15, 14 or 15, I was a teenager and I was hanging out with these teenagers, right? And there was this other group of teenage girls that were just like, um, just typical kind of dumb blonde valley girl types, and I was ripping on them because I don't like unintelligent people. I just don't. And you know, and I was like, okay, ladies, I'd like to say it was fun, but it wasn't. And I turn around and walk away. And they had this dumbfounded look on their face because worshiping and kissing their asses, putting them on this huge high pedestal. And then this other kid that was with us, he was like, "No, wait, it was fun, it was," and he's like running after them. And that was like, I didn't know what a simp was back then, but this is even if I put my foot down as a man, or even if one man puts his foot down and demands to be respected and treated as a human being, there's like an army of simps that will rush over and get on their knees, groveling at their feet, and blowing up their egos, giving them all their power. This is crazy,
Well,
and
that
this is why
well,
things
you're
don't
correct
change.
about that. You're correct about that. Things ain't gonna change because you got all these. I don't even call them pussy whipped. I just call them straight out vaginas. Because I'm not gonna call
Yeah,
them a mangina because there ain't nothing manly about their behavior.
exactly. Yeah, I think mangina is too generous.
So I just took the man off of the mangina and called them nudginas.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was trying to explain to my friend recently, because he's just running around approaching all these women, giving them compliments and whatever, and just blowing up their egos. I was like, dude, gotta stop doing that. You're making things worse for everybody, and like it just everything I tell him goes in one ear and out the other.
In one ear, out the other. Don't register. Nope, it's about me, man, and I want to get a woman, so I'm going to keep kissing women's ass, and I'm going to keep kissing women's ass, and I'm going to turn my head and look the other way when she does it wrong and not call her out on it. I could make a 10-minute video back in the day before Google got their damn hands on YouTube. You could only do a 10-minute video.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember that.
if you went 2 seconds
Yeah,
over, that video wouldn't go up. I remember
yeah,
remaking a video many times because I went over 10 minutes. Okay. I started
yeah.
having to put a stopwatch on myself to do a video or I'd fucking have to remake it.
Yeah, I had to cut my videos up and edit them back in those days.
Oh, yeah. Part one, part two, part three.
Exactly. I'm glad you can make longer videos now.
Oh, yeah. I was happy to see that come on that way. I wasn't happy about the fact that the two owners that had YouTube, or three guys that had it, were forced into a courtroom and made to sell by the elite. And yeah, they may have been given a lot of money, but see, this was the unforeseen media. YouTube, they didn't see coming. It slapped them in the face.
Well, they took over YouTube because they made Susan Wojcicki CEO of YouTube. So I think they started to see that YouTube was a serious threat, because there's a lot of people that were posting videos like you remember all those documentaries like Loose Change, and all those documentaries that showed that 9/11 was an inside job, and they were getting like millions of views,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, um, and then came the anti-religious videos and the MGTOW videos, and it became a huge threat to the establishment. So I think that ended up being the reason why Google bought out YouTube, and they put Susan Wojcicki in the driver's seat, because she's a radical feminist,
yeah,
left-wing feminist, and that's why you're seeing all the censorship going on, and truthers having their, I don't even like the word truther, but for lack of a better term, they're having people who are speaking the truth are getting their channels terminated left, right, and center. I've had a lot of my videos removed. I've had videos speaking on like exposing pedophiles taken down from YouTube. You know,
Yep, I've lost
constantly.
I've lost 3 or 4 channels to censorship to YouTube. Okay, the last channel I lost was right behind me, exposing the Las Vegas fraudulent shooting that never took place. Okay, and of
Oh
course
God, yeah.
that costed me my channel. Okay, but I've lost 3 or 4 channels
Yep.
already. So and when you do that, like my first channel, the Bill 122460 channel, that was up for a long time, but I had well probably 11, 1200 videos on that channel when it got taken down. That's when I got attacked right after Google took over uh, YouTube. I had a guy calling himself Baron David
Yeah.
Rothschild, and that story is actually real. It fucking is for real. Is real. I had a backup channel that I never used. I got suspended on my account. Okay, and I was suspended out for 2 weeks. Couldn't log in. You couldn't even log in. Couldn't upload nothing. Couldn't log in. So I went and
Was
logged
great.
into my backup channel. I didn't have no videos on it at all. At that time, YouTube still had an email that you could email a YouTube account to YouTube account. Okay, I had an email sitting in there. It was brand new, and I thought, really? How do they know about this? And this guy introduced himself as Baron David Rothschild, and I thought, yeah, right, you piece of shit, you're a troll. Okay, and he went on and told me that if I promised not to bring up their good family name, I would leave him alone. And he says, well, however, though, if you bring up my good family name again, I'm going to have your main account removed. And back then, your status was in your account. So you had to go be logged into the account in order to see your total views and shit. That wasn't for the public to see.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a troll for sure. So I jumped up there and I made a video on that channel. And of course, I talked about the good Rothschild family name, right? Within 20 minutes of me posting that video, here comes another email from the same person. They never left no comments under nothing. And they told me, Bill, you don't know who you're messing with. He says, I've taken the liberty of removing your other channel, having it removed. And I thought, bullshit. I was just over there, still there. I just can't log in. All my videos are up. And I went back over and looked, my channel was gone, dude. Everything was gone.
Wow.
Okay. So I wasn't messing with a troll. Okay. And I was like, really? And then they sent me 3, 4 more emails after that and explained how he run into me. That after Google got ownership, that he went to Google and he was going through the freaking YouTube accounts looking for people with anything over 100,000 viewers on their channel, and my channel flagged his attention because I had all these viewers at that time, because TFL had went viral and I had all these people attacking me and hating me. I was actually hitting 10,000 plus views per day on every video uploaded. Well, not no more, man. Once this freaking shit took place, they've been pushing me down ever since.
Yeah, they bury you in the algorithm.
Yep, they've been burying me ever since. So, unless you don't know, unless you know of me, you're not going to find me the way it used to be because the censorship is off the charts.
Yeah. And it used to be like when I Googled my name, I would come right up. But now when I Google my name, nothing comes up. You know.
Yeah, I don't Google my name no more, but I every now and again I'll Google or I'll Yahoo search or I'll use your different search engines and type in True Force Loneliness, and every time I do, I find myself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
first give True Force Loneliness to the internet, you could search every search engine you want. It was non-founded, non-founded. Okay, 2 years later, 11 million plus. So from non-founded to 11 million plus.
Yeah, I think I only started hearing that term like in the last couple of years, the FA TFL thing, and you know, yeah, I don't I mentioned it in the comments earlier, but I don't know if you saw that Annika, she scammed Kickstart for $24,000 recently.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Annika would come on my Saturday night TFL live stream. Ron Fan had been following me since the beginning of TFL, and I trusted him. And he had this gal, and I didn't even know Annika was with Monday. Okay, and she came in on my live stream. Okay, she came in 2 weeks in a row. Steve Hogan jumped in, blah blah blah, the second week, and I nailed her because I saw through Monday quite early, and that's unfortunately because I saw through Monday and knew who he was, and I seen that reply that you'd done to him. It threw me for a loop, and that's why I thought what I thought, and I was totally wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
but that's where that led to
Unfortunately.
because Monday, unfortunately, guaranteed the guy's working for either military or, you know, United Nations or he's working for the establishment, guaranteed. Okay, and
Yeah.
Annika, no different. Annika's his girlfriend. Annika lives with him.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I feel stupid, but I didn't know, I didn't realize at first that Monday was an agent. You know, I actually liked his channel quite a lot. I mean, he did produce some pretty decent content, but I see now what he really is. You know.
yeah. Unfortunately, I saw through him. I knew who he was, and unfortunately, I didn't know who you was. Okay, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
because of that that I actually found you because I didn't know who you was. And then
Oh,
I
okay. For
opened
me
my
doing the
mouth
reply
when I
video.
opened my mouth because I thought something that wasn't correct. And then over time, I would watch your stuff. And then I seen it. I said, this guy's not no damn agent.
Yeah.
That's when I knew you were as real as I am.
Yeah, but I am very much being manipulated and being pushed and socially engineered and having a lot of gang stalkers wreak havoc in my life. You know, because they're trying to, well, not trying, they're successfully getting me so angry and depressed that I've become like mentally unstable. I can't deny it. You know, I can't.
Well, your
It's just what's
anger's
going.
going to do this to you, and the only thing I can tell you is recognize the cause, recognize it's not you, okay,
Yeah.
and then accept the fact.
I have nowhere to turn
Yeah.
because right now, I mean, we all have nowhere to turn now because these dumb lemmings have just run off a cliff and dragged us with them. So
Well,
um,
that part I
it's
totally agree with you with, but you got to be
it's
able to.
really
You have to control
ugly.
yourself because these sick fucks could make you go ER. They will.
Yeah, I'm not going ER. That
Okay.
they're going to try as hard as they can, and I'm not going to lie when I see the evil, when I see the absolute disgusting fucking evil that comes from these people, that anyone could be this evil. Yes, I do want these people to be removed from the earth, but I'm not going to fall for it. They want to put me in that trap. They want me to just snap and do something violent. I know they do. They're
Oh,
just
they
pushing.
do.
You even look at all the comments of them.
They'll label you out as another incel. Okay.
Yep.
That's exactly what they'll do, and I'll see. This is why incel's dangerous. Because I've been told for years now that true forced loneliness is dangerous to society. So what's dangerous about true forced loneliness to society? What? Because I'm telling the truth?
Yeah. Well, they're engineering us. They're engineering us to try to make us dangerous. It's crazy. It's like they're engineering people to socially engineering people to be alone in isolation, to have severe depression, to get angrier and angrier. When you put men in this situation constantly and have them living in isolation, they it's going to lead to violence. It's going to lead to a very violent society, and this is what they're just trying to create chaos so they can control us. They'll have us all fighting. They already do. It's already been done, pretty
Oh
much. It's
yes,
just
definitely, definitely. They've already got that accomplished, dude. And we don't got long before things
yeah.
go. I mean, wait, election time's coming. Selection time's coming.
Ugh.
And when
Yep.
selection time gets here in less than a month, I got a
Yeah.
feeling we're going to see things get really ugly.
Yeah. And it's to be honest, man, I see what's coming, and I'm not gonna lie, it scares the living shit out of me because I know what's coming, and I know that people are not even gonna resist it because if there was any sign that people are going to wake the fuck up and resist it, we would have seen that. The time to wake up was actually a long time ago. It was actually over a decade ago, maybe more than that, that we needed to wake up and resist this. Like when we saw 9/11 happen, and that's when I really tried to wake everyone the fuck up because I knew that right there was like them moving their pieces into place. and that the world was going to change. That was like the major catalyst for the NWO, just yeah, moving their pieces into place,
You know,
and
on the
it
day
was
that 9/11 happened, I did remodels for years up in Florida, and I was up in Sarasota, Florida, remodeling a house, and I was at the back side of that very school. I could step outside and look at the back side of the school, and I did have no idea that, oh, Bush was in that school and what was going on until I got home at the end of that day.
Jesus.
I was that close to Bush and didn't even know it.
Wow, that's insane. And he was reading the Happy Goat.
I know. And upside down book in his hand, the happy goat, he sure
Yeah,
was. Because he reads good upside down, you know.
yeah. Well, everything is inverted to them, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, that's why I got my little saying up here right here, everything's upside down. Because it is.
Yeah, yeah. They're used to it, you know. And this dark occult system. As above, so below. You know.
Yeah.
It's
You know, and I don't know the outcome of all this, but I'm watching so much stuff, and there's so many agents online. You have to be careful with what you believe and look into what you're seeing. Open
yeah,
your eyes, look around you, keep your mouth shut if you don't believe, but don't say it's not true, and pay attention because, I mean, right now we're sifting through miles of lies to get one fragment of truth.
yeah. And it's insanity because it's so hard to know. There's so much disinformation out there right now that I can't ever confidently say that I know the truth about it. I just don't think that I can. You know.
I honestly think, you know, it's always been during when the time you wake up, everybody that's ever woke up has went down a few rabbit holes. There's no way out of it because you were lied to your whole life. Okay?
Exactly.
So you're gonna go down rabbit holes. But it's what's important is to learn because the more you wake up, the less rabbit holes you go down.
That's why I have a lyric in one of my songs. I say, "Do you have any idea how many matrices I had to awake from?" Because it's just there's so many layers to this, you know. There's so
Oh,
many rabbit holes to go down.
you're correct. It's on and on and on and on. You know, and the sad thing about it is, I'm awake enough. I mean, you know, come on, I'm gonna be 60 years old in a couple months if I'm still alive. Okay, but I've been here a
Yeah.
long time, and I've done a lot of research, and I've watched so much, and I have life experience too. It isn't like I have, you know, people think, well, how could I give the name True Force Loneliness? Because I've seen it happening with my own eyes and because I lived it for 28 years. But yes, I did get a woman in my life. Yes, I did get a kid. Yes, I raised that kid. Okay. I've had like 3 women in my life. And right now, I'm at the end of my road. So my son's 23 now, and I brought his mother back into his life. That took me almost 2 years to accomplish that crap. Okay. But anyhow, she's in the house with me. She's at work right now. Okay. So we're not together. I mean, this is comical. Okay.
Yeah.
My ex-wife to be, who I'm still married to, Heather, she's in Minnesota. My brother's ex-wife to be, who he's still married to, she's on the other side of Iowa. And my son's mother, my ex, okay, well, she's married and her ex to be is in Colorado.
So everybody's pretty much scattered.
Exactly.
Everybody
So,
knew was pretty
so
much
what we
scattered.
have
Yeah.
is my brother and I are both married. My ex is living with me. She's married. She's got a son by another guy who's 13. Okay. And of course, Anthony's here, right? And so I'm looking at Bob. She's looking at me, and I'm saying, this is comical. All 3 of us are married to somebody else, and all 3 of us ain't with them. And you're my ex. My son's mother, who's upstairs, and I had a lot of years with her. Okay, so
That's insanity.
I know it's insanity, and you know it's crazy because I've always loved her, still do love her, but we're not together. Okay, you understand that? Okay, I brought her back into my life because my life was almost ending, and I didn't want my son to be alone. And at least with her, he would have his biological mother and a half brother, which was still
Yeah.
better than being alone.
Yeah, I get it, and I mean, this is kind of why, you know, it used to break my heart, and I made a lot of videos about not being able to have kids, but now that all this stuff has happened, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I don't now, because I would never want my child to have to live in this horrible reality that's
Oh
been
God,
created.
I'm so with you on that. I'm so with you on that. You know, and I feel sad for my son because my son, you know, when all
Yeah,
these years I was doing this stuff, I kept him away from it because I didn't want to scare the jeebus out of my child. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now I
yeah,
wished
no,
I
no.
hadn't kept him away from it because he's asleep and you're
So he
trying to,
doesn't know.
yeah, he's asleep, dude.
He, oh man. So he has no idea about this stuff. And have you
He
ever tried
knows
to
about
explain?
TFL and he knows I talk about this stuff, but unfortunately, he's got friends who are asleep.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
the way it
know,
is.
I'm his dad, so he'll listen to his friends before he'll listen to his dad.
Yeah, that's and the thing is, even if you were able to wake him up, he'd be socially ostracized because, you know, they call him crazy, they call him a conspiracy nut. So it's like
Yeah,
it's a weird
he's
thing.
already going to be TFL. He's never had a woman in his life. He's 23 years old. He ain't even had a date.
Damn, that's so sad. I mean, it's like, and like I said, I know that it wouldn't be good to bring children up in this world, but it's just fuck how I'm just looking at this, man. It breaks my heart. Like it is beyond heartbreak to see what the world has become and to know what human potential can be. I mean, we have these amazing minds and spirits that are capable of so much, and we waste it. We squander all our gifts. We barely use our brains. We fill our minds with trash entertainment. We fill our bodies with poisonous, toxic. This is not even food.
Oh,
This
that's
is
it. That's
cancer
it.
that
You
we're
know,
eating.
well, I can understand where you get hooked up on drugs. I mean, you know, when you're put through so much stress, so much blah, 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 you can get high and go fucking, you know, and calm yourself down and take it off
Yeah,
your mind or what have you. But the
try a
sad thing
relapse.
is when you come down, guess what? You're still here.
Yeah, and you're in an even worse depression than you were before, and you're in this constant cycle where obviously you need money for drugs, so you gotta you're just a slave to your high. You want to feel good instead of feeling horrible all the time. So drugs at least make you feel good some of the time, but then they make you feel horrible. So you're on this constant roller coaster ride, up and down, and it's just terrible. You know, it's like you either have the choice of feeling horrible all the time or feeling good some of the time, but being a slave to that good feeling, to that temporary false good feeling. It's not real,
It is.
you know.
That's it. That's exactly it. And then you wind up getting hooked on it, and then you're struggling to get money to keep buying more, to keep buying more. And then if the criminals were piping the drugs into the USA, okay,
Yeah.
and protecting the people that they hand it to put it on the streets, and everybody else goes to prison, okay?
Yeah, well, you saw what happened with Freeway Ricky Ross, and I don't know if you're familiar with his operation with Senator Wellstone. Well, he's a senator now, but he was a CIA operative
Oh
who
yeah.
worked with a guy known as Freeway Ricky Ross, which I don't know, you probably don't follow rap music, but that fat rapper basically stole his name and his identity. The real Ricky Ross was the biggest crack dealer in history, probably, and he was getting his cocaine shipped in from South America through CIA planes.
Yes, yes. See, that's just it. The government, the CIA, a corporation. That's what all government's nothing but corporations. Trump's nothing more than a CEO of a corporation. United
Exactly.
Nations was set up for one reason. Matter of fact, the same year, 1949, when they gave United Nations, they gave you Mensa. You know what Mensa is, right?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Mensa's the world's smartest people. You know, that 2% of the world's most intelligent, smartest people. Well, Annika met Monday at Mensa.
that's right. Yeah,
And just like with the Freemasons, they have a round table at the top because the lower tier are sound asleep. You know, the lower tier of the Freemasons are sound asleep and do good for society. The upper tier are working with the bankers. They're sick fucks. That's why they have the round table of secrets. Well, guess what?
yeah.
Mensa has the round table of secrets too. So here's what you have. The recruiting ground for agents for the system, for the bankers, is Freemasons and Mensa.
Well, believe it or not, Monday, the reason I ended up doing a reply video to Monday was because he mentioned me in a video. I
You cut out there. I wonder if you're still here. Well, we lost him. I think his phone died. Okay, well, there you are.
you know,
Now you're
and I was
back.
funny.
Okay, we lost you right there. You brought that up and suddenly the audio was gone.
Yeah, I fell for it. I walked right into the trap. I should have been. I should have known better. I know.
Yeah, well, you know what? I won't criticize you for that because the fact is, you know, you're learning. You're quite awake because I've seen that just talking to you for the first time. I'm seeing that you are actually quite awake, okay? So
Yeah.
don't feel bad about not seeing that at first because you will eventually be able to see through these people right off the bat, okay?
Yeah.
You
I
will
usually can.
because you're on the right page, man. You really are, okay?
Yeah.
I saw through Monday in a short amount of time, and there's another guy, and I don't care what people tell me. I know the guy's working for the establishment. Don't care what people tell me. He's running around calling himself First. He won't give out his real name. His name is First. He was also on Monday's live streams.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this guy.
He's also the guy that called into Steve Hoker's show, and Steve didn't listen to me, and he called into one of Steve's live podcasts, and Steve's got a paid Zoom account like I do, so he was using his phone and calling into Steve's podcast, and I told Steve from the beginning, put a backdrop on there because if you don't, the phone number on Zoom will show up for the public to see. He didn't listen to me, and he done that. And when it was first, he first was attacking me and hating me, and he never talked to me in life, don't even know anything about me. So I paused the live stream, wrote down the number, and I Googled it, and guess where he lives? Right there in Silicon Valley.
Oh,
Okay? So don't surprise me a goddamn bit, okay? And I was watching the stuff, well, and then when first put porn in Steve's live streams 2, 3 times, the last time it was only him and them in there, okay? But when all comes to push to shove, between Hayden and I, we screen captured all this stuff First was typing, okay? And when we screen captured all the stuff he was saying, First was really, he got pissed off because he tried to separate me and Steve. He told Steve, why are you talking blah, 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 blah. And he did his best to separate me and Steve and get Steve to go to Incel. He wanted Steve to go to Incel and be a great speaker for Incel. Well, let's go back to Huffington Post. A great speaker for who? Uh-huh. Yeah, setting him up, okay? So, needless to say, he left all these comments out of sarcasm like Monday did. Harry left a comment when Steve Holcomb made a video on Monday saying he wanted him on his podcast. And Monday, and Harry comes along and leaves a comment, so are you ever going to go over to Steve's channel and go on one of his podcasts with him? And Monday typed back to Harry, and Monday don't even know who Harry is, okay? He typed back to Monday and says, I ain't got time. I'm too busy being a New World Order agent.
wow.
So it was all sarcasm out of his freaking mouth. And then Harry showed me that in the comment section. And I was like, oh, there we go. Right. But I already knew he was anyhow. Okay. So after Steve stood up and didn't go with First when First said this, later on, Steve ran off with First. Okay. He's in bed with him, dating him. Right. But anyhow, before all that happened, so First got mad and started typing all this stuff, and he was really telling who he was. He started saying, well, I work for the United Nations. I'm working for Sustainable Development 2030. Okay, blah, blah, blah. He knew too much. He said a lot of stuff that was accurate. Okay. Sorry, there was too much there that said he was. And then, of course, he's living right where everybody flees from California. Ain't nobody can afford to live in Silicon Valley, California. If you're going to be living in Silicon Valley, you better be a very wealthy motherfucker.
So that's a fact. I mean, yeah, I really got to be careful because there's so many untrustworthy people in this I had something. I lost my train of thought. You had reminded me of somebody, and it slipped out of my mind now. But yeah, oh yeah, I regret using the term incel because I just didn't, I didn't think about it back then. I didn't put that much thought in.
I threw incel under the bus because it's involuntary celibacy, and I had people trying to tell me TFLers were involuntary celibacy. I said no, they're not,
Yeah.
because involuntary celibacy incel is based on sex.
Hmm.
TFL is not based on sex.
Yeah. And a lot of people are falsely labeled as incels when they're actually TFLers in reality. You know,
Yes.
they want companionship, they want love, they want a connection with somebody. And you know, I mean, sex is just a small part of that. It's not the whole be all and end all. And I think most people, if you have a soul, you probably want a real connection with somebody. But we're taught as men to be like these stupid emotionless macho caricatures of what masculinity is supposed to be. Yeah, we're supposed to just get laid, bro. Just go fuck as many women as we want and everything, and that's so badass and cool and everything. And I never liked that. I never liked that whole, it's forced on us. We're brainwashed into thinking like that by society. And it's
It
just,
is.
I never,
That's correct. That's
per-
correct. You're absolutely correct. You know, and I wish it
personally,
wasn't, but I'm glad that you're awake enough that you're seeing through this shit, because you're a lot more awake than a lot of people have met. Believe me, you really are. Okay,
yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but you're pretty awake for your age. Okay,
And I've been like this since I was 15.
okay.
What really woke me up was when I read the book by George Orwell, 1984. Um, it woke me up because I saw like the framework. I saw how easy it was to manipulate people, to have the masses, the entire mass human population believe in lies, and how that actually worked. Because you know, George Orwell. That book might it was pretty much a manual to complete social control and authoritarianism. You know, yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, it slipped my mind. Totalitarianism. That's the word. Yeah. That book taught me that what was really possible as far as like mass mind control of people. And it was crazy because that book actually predicted a lot of stuff. It was written in 1943, I believe, and it predicted a lot of stuff that happened in the future. In fact, things got even uh, worse than what that book predicted. And also, I was born in 1984, so I always found that interesting. So I've been awake since I was 15 years old. As a teenager, I could only hang around with adults that were like in their 40s at the time, because nobody was. I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but most people weren't mature enough for me to even have a conversation with them or communicate.
I do understand what you're talking about, because Harry is on my level, and Harry is 24 years old, and
Yeah,
he's on my level of awakeness. Seriously, no lie. Harry is smart as a damn whip, and he's very, very awake. And him and I talk a lot. God, I love talking with Harry, because him and I are so awake. I mean, we could talk about anything and everything, and we're on the same level. Okay.
yeah.
And I see you're right in that category. You're getting there. I mean, you really are. I don't know how much you know, but I'm just now actually meeting you for real. Okay. But I know just from the time you've been here, man, you're a lot more awake than I realized you was, and I'm happy you are.
Well, unfortunately, thank you. And unfortunately, I like my videos, my YouTube channel should have been a lot different than it is, because like this whole TFL thing was a big distraction from my original purpose. And this is, I think this was done deliberately because,
Well, remember this: the dating scene is the core of NWO.
yeah,
Like an apple
and
has a core, a pear has a core, and people want to say, well, no, that couldn't be. Yes, it is. How could the dating scene be the core of NWO? Because the George Guidestones tells you straight up they want to reduce the population down to 500,000. And how would you control the population and stop births from happening? You would have to break up the family unit and divide the genders.
Right. And the thing about that is, when you think about it, as a man, like men and women are opposite halves. We're not complete without one another, and this is why it's become such a big distraction in my life. Because like when you're in a relationship and you have love, and I experienced this with my wife, you're just a lot more calm. You're a lot less neurotic and anxious, and you're able to focus on the things that are important in your life. And when that gets taken away from you, the isolation, the loneliness, it really overwhelms you, and it really distracts you from uh, what you might normally doing, and it throws you off your purpose. That's the way I put it, and you're stuck in isolation playing video games instead of being out there speaking the truth. The whole reason why I got into music in the first place, and I've mentioned this in other videos, was because music is a powerful awakener and unifier of people. Music is a universal language that everyone can understand. And what really inspired me to get into music in the first place was when I was a kid, I watched this documentary um, about like a classical.
It broke off again.
And they were talking about how music united them. Music brought even sworn enemies together on the same stage to perform together, and how much of a universal language it was. And when I saw that, I was like, that's what I got to get into. That's how I can, you know, bring people together. And I had this. Maybe you could call me naive, but I had this vision of unity in my mind
I
when
think there's
I got
probably
into
only
music.
one thing that I ever seen that you really said that struck home that you want a female in your life so bad, right? And you had met a female, and you do your music, and you've talked a lot about your music, okay, and what you do with your music. And this female didn't had her own music she liked, and you was pretty upset over it, okay. And I can't remember exactly what all the words was, but I remember you was really upset. Okay, of course she wasn't there no more with you, but she didn't like the music you liked, and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
my thing there is people have to remember this individuality. Okay.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just that she was so close-minded that she wouldn't even listen to it in the first place. Which just that kind of bothered me. But she wanted me to be open-minded to the things she was interested
Well,
in.
but yeah, I understand what you're saying, but remember this. This is the reason dating isn't about sex.
Yeah,
Dating's about getting to know one another, and if there's, if you run into a female that's closed-minded and blah blah blah, okay, totally asleep, my suggestion is move on.
yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. You're absolutely right.
Because one or two things is going to happen. You're going to do it, like Steve came into my live stream once screaming. I mean, that's not how it's in today's society. Women don't want to take the time to get to know a man. And if you try that, they're going to move on to their next. And I'm thinking, then let them move on to the next.
Yeah,
It's like when Jerry told me, well, you can't talk about that. You're going to scare all the women off. And I thought, well, let them run because the only women I want to
I
talk
get
about
that
are
all the
women.
time.
Scare all the women off my ass. Run! I don't want anything to do with you toxics. Okay?
That's what I say. That's what I always say, because they say, "Oh, you got to change this about yourself, change that about yourself." Oh, if a woman hears you say that, or this or that, then they'll be scared away and everything. And I'm like, well, if she's scared of that, then fucking bye, good riddance,
Well,
you know?
the thing is that she has to love you for who you like you for who you are, okay? Not who she wants you to be. And
Hmm.
you have to like her for who she is, not who you want her to be.
Yeah. Well, I might point out that my wife and I had very different tastes in music. And we just kind of accepted that. And I was young. At first I didn't, I was trying to convince her to like certain things that she just didn't care about, and I realized that was the wrong approach to take.
Well, you're absolutely correct on what you're saying there because you have to be, if you get to know somebody they may not like the music you like, right? But you may
Yeah,
have 100 other things that are in common with each other. You can hang together and laugh and joke and be together and go out and have a good time and do things together. Okay?
exactly.
I mean, the reality is she's herself, you're yourself, and it's not about changing nobody.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever try to change anybody, and you shouldn't let anybody try to change you. But
Exactly.
my problem though, the problem I face with this whole whatever you want to call it dating game. I don't even know if that's an accurate
I
term
don't even
for it,
want to
but
call game, man, because well, I'll tell you what, dating isn't a game. You're talking about a very personal thing. You're
exactly.
talking about emotions and feelings, dude.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
not a game to be toyed with.
Right. Well, but for lack of a better term, I don't even know what's accurate these days. But when it comes to relationships, I can't find anyone that I even have the slightest thing in common with. I just can't. It's just these.
Unfortunately, you and 5 million other men, or not more, are having the same issues, okay? And the only thing I can tell you is you have to stop looking, but go out and get yourself involved in something you like that will frequent both genders. Don't be trying to get a date. Be yourself. Go out and have a good time being yourself. And when you meet a female, while being yourself, you won't feel that pressure that you feel like when you're trying to impress a female. Do you understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but that doesn't work. I've been doing that for years. I've gone out and I've been
Yeah.
myself, and I've been myself alone, and I keep being myself alone.
Well,
And
unfortunately, in today's society, okay, everybody's so messed up from social engineering. If you can do what I'm saying, one day maybe you'll meet one girl who didn't fall for the goddamn Kool-Aid, you know what I'm saying? Who will like you for who you are. But if you go the other route and play what they're telling you have to do, then get your hammer out and make sure and beat yourself good in the head because you're going to have one toxic, narcissist, self entitled piece of crap that's going to treat you lower than dirt. And the first time she's going to run off with somebody else and you're going to be by yourself again, anyhow.
well, that's what just happened to me. It's like, you know, the woman I was just with was completely self-serving and narcissistic. It was just all about her. It was all just
There
what she
you
wanted me to
go.
do for her.
Yep, exactly.
She didn't give a
That's
she didn't
why
give a
I've told
rat's ass
people.
about
Yeah,
me.
that's exactly what I'm talking about, and what you had just happened to you. This is why
Yeah.
I've told people, even on my live streams when I was doing Saturday Night Live TFL, I told them that why do you want to take a hammer and hit yourself upside the head over and over and over? Aren't you
Yeah.
tired of being hurt?
Well,
You
I wouldn't have
know?
even given her the time of day had it not been for the fact that she was also a widow, and I thought that, oh, we have that. That's a very powerful thing to have in
Oh,
common, which
well,
I
I
don't
didn't
have.
realize she was also a widow.
Yeah.
Okay? That
So
right
yeah, her
there would have put a link between you and her.
yeah, her fiance had passed away too. And so we had that in common, and like, right, I think that's what hit us off in the first place. And I thought, I had my hopes up getting into that because I hadn't met somebody else who experienced that, and nobody else understands what that's like. And I had thought she'd be an empathetic person, knowing what I'd been through and having been through that pain herself, that she would, be a caring and empathetic person. But it turns out she just has no soul. She's just a
Well,
selfish
yes,
narcissist.
it goes back to, unfortunately, we got to blame society and men in general as well for going along with it. Nobody using critical thinking. We have the social engineering again on one side of the pole is the men and one side is the women. And then we have all the double standards, okay? And of course, media and everybody pushing, well, you need to act this way, you need to act this way, and you got to watch how you speak with a ladies in the room, okay? Blah, blah, blah,
Exactly.
and on and on and on. So, you know the list. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's that list that's keeping everybody where they're at right now. And the only thing I can think of right now is I don't think now's a good time to be worried about dating. I think now's a good time to worry
No,
about
it's not.
trying to get people to stand the fucking together and stand up against what's coming in. Because if they don't, they won't have to worry about it in 5 years from now because they won't be here. They'll be dead.
Yeah. And this is what I keep trying to tell. I once this whole lockdown started, I was like sounding the alarms. I was saying, "Yo, wake up! They're doing this to enslave and subjugate us. Because once they crash the economy, we will lose our independence and our ability to support ourselves, and to support our families, and basically our world as we know it will end and change drastically." And of course, what did everybody do? They attacked me. They ganged up on me. They called me a conspiracy nut. They told me I was being selfish. Yeah, these are the same people that ignored me for the last decade because my wife died, and they saw that I was in a depression, and they didn't want to deal with me because they wanted to go out and party and get drunk every night. And I was a downer to them, and it was so much easier for them to pretend I just didn't exist,
Oh
which is
God, I
exactly
know
what they
that
did.
one. That's welcome to our world, man. You gotta fit
Yeah,
in, right? No, I haven't gotta fit in. If you think you gotta fit in, and that's one of the things I think that irritates me about people. They're so worried about what somebody else might think of them. Oh no, I wouldn't want them to think this of me. And so they're busy
yes,
bending over and forfeiting being themselves, an individual,
yeah.
okay, and censoring their own selves because they're worried about what somebody will think of them. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks
That's
about me.
exactly. That's why, and it's crazy because if you see a lot of the comments I get, they'll always attack me about the fucking clothing I wear. Like wearing a hat and t-shirt is the worst fucking thing ever. I have to wear like a three-piece suit when I'm sitting around at home apparently, or I'm not
Ah, tough
worthy of
shit on
being.
them, man. Tough shit on them, man. You put on what you're comfortable in and what you're happy on. And if they don't like it, oh well, you know where the sun don't shine, that's where you can put it, bitch.
Exactly. And so people are telling me, oh, if you want to get a woman, just change your clothes, change the way you talk and act completely, and remove all
Okay,
your
let's see.
tattoos
So
and
what they
everything. It's
just
like, why
told
the
you is,
fuck would I do that?
yeah, if
You
you
know,
want to get with
this
a
is me. This
woman,
is who I
yeah,
am. I've modeled myself after who I am as an individual. This is a reflection of what's inside of me. You know what I'm saying? This is
yes.
the person I
Well,
am.
that's just it. If they're going to tell you, well, this is how you're going to get a woman, and you got to change yourself and do this and dress like that and do that. Okay, well, you go right ahead. What you're telling me is, oh, I need to be fake. I need to be a fraud, and then I need to play a
Exactly.
game. And then if I dress just right, maybe I'll get lucky enough for her to treat me like complete dirt, right? Or maybe I
Exactly.
could go get laid and I could get myself some herpes or some gonorrhea or something. And, oh, by God, that'll be a happy moment. Yeah, bullshit. Fuck them idiots.
Basically. And you're expected to bend so far over backwards that you're breaking your damn back just to get somebody that's not even worth it because they don't society doesn't tell women they have to be better people. They tell women
No,
that you could be the
no.
worst piece of shit. You could be a terrible person. You could be 400 pounds, not practice good personal hygiene, and you're still a fucking princess. You're still the best. You
Oh,
deserve
yeah,
the best,
you're a
the best of the
princess.
best.
Even though you treat everybody around you with a dick between their legs like a complete piece of dirt and order them around and treat them like shit and scream and yell at them and make all kinds of drama, oh, by God, you couldn't do any wrong. Even if you go out and do all the wrongs in the world, you can't do no wrong. You know why? Because you have a hole between your legs.
Yep. And I've had so many experiences where, like for example, one day, I used to ride my BMX around in the city. I'm from New York, obviously, so I would I'd bring my bike down. I used to like to ride around in Manhattan. It's a fun place. There's more bike lanes there, whatever. So I had my bike locked up. It was early in the morning, and I'd been out all night at a party, whatever. So this couple is standing in front of where my bike is locked up. And I just politely walk up and I say, "Excuse me," so I can unlock my bike. And this bitch starts screaming at me and just cursing me out and threatening me with violence and all types of shit. And she's got her little cuck soy boy bitch boyfriend next to her because everybody's like a little feminized hipster in New York, a little metrosexual with skin tight jeans and you know the and no masculinity whatsoever. And I'm gonna beat the shit out of both of you.
Yeah. Well, I do
Um,
understand the anger, but hey, I'm definitely happy to meet you for the first time, and no hard
Likewise,
feelings,
man.
I really am. I think you're a pretty good guy.
Thanks, man.
I've been watching you for a long time now, and at first I saw what I saw, and that's why I had to apologize to you when I first saw you come up here. I had to apologize to you because I owed it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry too. I was upset. I guess I overreacted a little bit because it's like I'm getting attacked from all angles and everything, and then people are telling me, "Oh, I'm fake. I'm not a real TFL." Like, why would I
No, no,
make this stuff up
you're
about
not
myself?
fake. You're real. I seen that after I started watching your stuff, and and then I knew that no, you were quite real. Okay, and I recognized a lot of it because I was that myself. So I
Yeah,
do recognize that, and I'm actually happy that we actually got a chance to talk, and I
yeah.
appreciate that. Really do.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying I've been wanting to talk to you myself. Actually, I'm glad. You're a real cool guy, and you've been around on this earth for a lot longer than I have. So I feel like there's a lot of wisdom I can gain from. I have been gaining from talking to you so far, and I'm sure a lot more in the future. So I'd be happy to talk to you anytime if you want to invite me to a live stream.
Yep.
I'm
Well,
perfectly happy to.
you got me in Zoom too, so I'm don't be shy. If you get alone and you're over there and you're frustrated, PM me, but we don't have to be on a live stream, but we can talk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, sure, no doubt. Definitely.
Give you a chance to get to know each other, and that way, you got somebody that actually gives a fuck that you can talk to without going to the deep edge. And then outside of I don't know what friends you have, but whatever friends you got, value them because in today's society, it's hard. It really is.
Oh, yeah, it's harder than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's at
yeah.
least that's what I would tell you there. But I'm going to end the live stream. You don't have to go nowhere this moment if you don't want because you're on Zoom. Okay.
Oh, sure.
But
Well, I
I
was gonna grab something to eat and use the bathroom too, so I'm gonna get off and take a break for a minute. But
okay.
we'll definitely talk.
Okay, that's fine, guy.
But
You
it
take
was a pleasure talking to you, man. And we'll be in touch.
okay. You take care of yourself.
All right, take care.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye.